Assalamu alaikum. My name is Grant Hassan Salam, and I'd like to welcome you again once this week to Taqwa Productions Studios and a plan that we have for the very near future to get our community involved with the values of what we are planning in the near future. Taqwa Production is just getting prepared to produce Ummah Stream World TV, a program that will be broadcast throughout the internet and will give us the exposure that we need in order to appeal to our people to the value of what the internet means to us as a Muslim community. And I say this because I think that when we look at what technology is doing around the world and how it's bringing people together, close together, then we need to have a tool and a vehicle that we can use that will allow the people to be able to see what Taqwa Productions has been doing for almost 30 years now. And I think it's important that we understand that it's been a growth process. You know, we've been struggling and coming up with different methods of being able to broadcast. But now I think we've grown to the point now where we realize the value of what the internet means. And if you look back at the last couple of weeks, or the last couple of months, I should say, if you look back and see what was being done by people in other parts of the world, when you look at what happened in Egypt, and how the young people, I think they said the age was from 15 to 30, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But they were showing how the value of the internet was help them to be able to bring about what their exposure was trying to accomplish back during that time. And we see that the value of the internet cannot be ignored. And I think that the Muslim community, and I've said this for many years, we have to learn to value what the media means, and we have to learn to value what Taqwa Productions means to our community, who have been out here struggling for the last 25 or 30 years trying to get our people to realize what this medium means to us as far as propagation of the religious, to correct ideas in the minds of the American society, and let people know where we stand as indigenous African Americans, particularly Muslims in this country. And sometimes we have to realize that until we get to a point where we can counter what other mediums are doing as far as giving the distorted views of what this religion means, then if we don't use the same tools to counter it, then we are making a great mistake. So the time has come now that we have to utilize these tools, and Taqwa Productions have been, I think, instrumental in spearheading the value of what the media has done. Yeah, it's been a struggle. We don't deny that. And it's still a struggle because it takes money. You know, when you're talking about the media, when you look at advertising, just take for an example, if you look at advertising that took place during the Super Bowl, for an example, how much it costs for a 30-second slot for somebody to advertise during the Super Bowl. That's millions and millions of dollars that they're putting out in order to take a 15 or 20-minute slot, a 15 or 30-second slot, to be able to put their message across the airways in the eyes and the minds of the viewers that be watching these events. So now the time has come where we have to utilize that same methodology in order to bring about the kind of things that we're interested in trying to project in the American society. Because when you think about it, the African American Muslim community here in these United States have been instrumental in bringing about so many changes that have taken place in this country over the last 30 years, especially since the leadership of Imam W.D. Muhammad. So much has changed and been positive changes that have brought about a different mindset in the minds of the American society. So we are at the point now where we are asking our viewers and those who sponsor and get involved with Taqwa Productions, we are asking you to help us to make a big difference. Now, sometimes when you think about it, and one of the things when you appeal to our community basically for resources, you're walking on sensitive areas of concerns. But at the same time, we realize that we cannot do anything in a society like America as far as progress is concerned without resources. We need equipment. We need to help people to maintain their livelihoods. I mean, you have people that have been struggling with Taqwa Production all these years, and many of them have struggled without compensation. But at the same time, do we expect people to continue their lives and their expertise and contributing without some kind of redress or recourse that they can accept and appeal to? So the time is now that we have to stop being so petty as a people and recognize that all people who make progress in this country make progress because they unite and pool their resources, they pool their knowledge, they pool their interests together. And I remember Imam Muhammad talked about it many years ago. He said you have to get with people that think like you, and you have to form alliances that way. And right now we are appealing out there to the broader community, to the Muslim community around these United States, because we have a tool now that we can talk to each other all over this country, all over the world, as a matter of fact. We can talk to each other. We can communicate and let you know what our needs are. So what is it? Why is it so difficult for us to recognize that in order to make these things grow, in order to make it a big benefit to the Muslim community in America especially, then we have to unite and bring about those kinds of concerns, resources, and things that we need. As I mentioned, Taqwa Productions on April the 2nd is sponsoring what you may call the media event of the year. It's a global launching fundraiser for Stream World TV. And when you think about that, you're talking about world TV. There was a time when we were relegated to the smaller communities in these United States, in the corners where we had our little facilities where we worship. But now we can reach out to the broader world. We're appealing to anyone that has exposure to these programs that we're producing to help us. You can donate. You can help us by contacting Taqwa Production through this medium, or you can donate and give resources to us. And we want to be held accountable for the things that our community expects of us. But in order to do that, we're appealing to you. When you see programs that Taqwa has been producing for all of these years, it hasn't been done without needs. We've been doing it on a shoestring. We've been trying to make something happen all these years so that we can become a household word like other mediums are. When you think of Taqwa Productions or you think of Stream, you should be thinking about the Muslim community who is trying to project the right image of what Islam means in these United States. We can't be so petty and hold on to old cliches that to think that we're going to take something from you if you help us. No, we want to show you that we can make this medium of Taqwa Productions as big in these United States and the international community as any medium is. When you have the internet exposure, when you have the type of broad perspectives that we can find in the internet, then you can reach the whole world. So we're appealing to those who may have the option to look at and to come in contact with Taqwa Production to help us. Is that so difficult? I was just thinking that some of the appeals that some other programs have, when you think about the advertising, some of the programs that are being put on public broadcasting stations and things like that, and how they sit and have people in the background answering calls and appealing to people to donate. Why is it so difficult for us to realize, we're coming from a shoestring, but we're climbing, we're trying to grow, we're trying to make a difference in our community life so that we can be as viable of an influence in the international community as well as here in America as other mediums are. When people see that the internet, there was a time when maybe CNN or NBC or were the mediums for getting broad messages out to the community. But that's over almost in a sense, even though you get your news from these broadcasts. But when you think about the internet and the beauty and what has been allowed to happen and develop because of the intellectual development of human beings, you see that now you can reach the world through one medium in a matter of seconds. Look at what these iPhones and these iPads and all of these tools that have been developed are doing around the world. So now we want to let the world know about what we are doing. We are trying to establish the correct view and understanding of the religion of Islam here in America, so that the American society is not intimidated or fearful of what the development of Islam is all about. And you have to be able to understand, and I've often said this, for those of you who are out there who really want to understand what Islam is and what it is not, then the best source for you to investigate that is through the Quran. And I think that if people would be more exposed to the Quran and what that message is in the Quran, I think you'll be able to see exactly what this religion is. And it's important to us that you understand that. That's why we put these kind of programs on. That's why we've been struggling for the last 25 or 30 years to bring about the correct view of what Islam is, so that it doesn't be distorted by what we see coming from other parts of the world. And we are here, and I say this without reservation. I think that once you realize that this movement that has been established in this country under the leadership of Imam W.D. Muhammad, and may God's peace and blessings be upon him and forgive him for his sins and grant him a place in paradise. When you see what is developed because of his leadership, you'll see that this religion today is on a platform that people don't have to be afraid or intimidated by. We feel as Muslims following that leadership that we are probably in the forefront of being the best examples of what Islam really is in this world. So we want you to get involved, and those of you who are local or can come, we're going to have this event on April the 2nd. It's going to be here in metropolitan Atlanta. And we're going to have special guests that's going to come. But we are launching this World TV network. Taqwa, Ummah Streams. Taqwa is the mother company, but the program is Ummah Stream, World TV. And we're going to be pushing so that the world can be able to hear the voice of the African Americans as well as the Muslims here who are indigenous to America. See, because I remember once I had a situation where I was marketing or attempting to market a product on eBay. And when I put my product on eBay, you get these responses from people who see it and they respond. And I got a response from a person, I don't know where he was in the world, but I had advertised my product as Islamic art by African Americans. So I got an email from a guy. And he said to me, in paraphrasing his question to me, he wanted to know, why did I use my ethnicity in order to advertise my product that I had on eBay? And I said to him, I sent him back an email, and I told him, I said, there are millions and millions and millions of people around the world that do not know that there are African American Muslims in the United States. So in order for me to get them to realize that, when I put my artwork on eBay, I had to use that terminology, Islamic art by African Americans. You see, because everybody has art, everybody has commodities that's coming from all parts of the world, and they identify their products based on their country, their ethnicity, where they are in the world. But when we do it, there's something wrong with it. So now that we have a vehicle that we can project and market and advertise and do the things that other mediums are doing, we have to back it. And that's one of my major concerns about us as a people. And it's true. I mean, we all say it to each other. We're the only people that don't really support and back what each other do. I had the experience just a few days ago to travel in a part of metropolitan Atlanta, and when you go into these particular areas, you see different ethnic groups, different immigrant organizations and people who have consumed the whole area. And now, all of those areas have their names on the marquees, have their businesses on all of the addresses of the businesses along those thoroughfares, you see. And I was talking to my wife about it, and I was saying to her, I said, it's really something when you see how and Imam Muhammad made this point too, how we have lost our opportunity in this country as African Americans. Because now it doesn't seem like anybody cares anymore about us because we didn't take advantage of the movements that were taking place in our benefit back in the earlier years, a few, maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago. We didn't take advantage of it. And Imam Muhammad said that we went from that opportunity to being nasty. So you see that our community has become, as he puts it, nasty. So nobody cares about us anymore because we lost that opportunity to take advantage of the challenges that could have been in our favor if we would have just united as a people to take advantage of them. So now we have to counter a lot of the setbacks that we've had as a people, and we have to try to bring it back up where we will get the respect and the dignity of the American people again, and then we can grow as other ethnic groups are growing in this country. See, but they unite. When you see they support their businesses, they have restaurants that they support. They have all types of things that they support, and they do it because they have a connection to their own lineage. They have that connection, and they haven't lost it because they've migrated to America. They've come here to get an education, and they've done it. Their families have moved here. They've set up communities where they live and support each other, and they help each other when they get here if they can't help themselves at the time until they're able to get themselves on their feet. But here we are, being here for all of these years, and yet we haven't yet to be able to benefit from it. One or two of us getting a fancy car, or, we're so attracted to materialism and to shiny things that if I get it, I got to show off. But yet at the same time, the community of African Americans are constantly going down because we don't have anything that lifts us up. We don't have any businesses that have our names on them anymore. We don't have anything to show the world that we are a collective people. So people don't care about us anymore. So we hope that we can take these vehicles like Takwar Productions and use the media of television and internet and all of those things that's available to us now, just like it is available to others, and bring the life of our people up to this point where we can be respected again. And in order to do that, we got to come out of this nasty living. We got to come out of this mentality of wearing our clothes like vagabonds, looking like bums in the street. We have to come out of that kind of lifestyle. You see, and until we do, we're going to still be viewed by the rest of the world as a people that is not a part of the human society. So these are just areas that I wanted to kind of talk about for a few moments in our getting in ready for this affair that we're going to have on April the 2nd. It's going to be about, I think it's going to start at 7:30, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at it, making at 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And it's going to be located here in metropolitan Atlanta at the Sharif Abdul Rahim Gymnasium on the property of the Muslim community here in metropolitan Atlanta. So we hope that those of you who are in the area that can come and participate. It's $35 for a couple. It's $20 for an individual. And you can participate. There'll be a dinner served. We're going to have entertainment. We've got special guests that's going to be there. So we just want to make it a fun-filled evening for all of us. Bring your families out. And let us talk to each other about what we can do to make a difference. How can we participate in developing something that's going to be long-lasting, that's going to be here after many of us are gone, that our future can take over? Because you can't get around the media. I don't care who you are. If you're going to be of any influence in the human society in the future, you're going to have to use these tools. And you see what's happening with these telephones and iPods and all of this technology that's moving so fast. Now they're willing to take back some of the things that's coming out so fast that you can't keep up with it. So you can turn in the one that you had that didn't last but for a few months and get a new one, you see. So it shows you how fast technology is moving. And I had a chance. I didn't completely watch it yet. I was going to try to do that, to watch this movie, The Social Network. But it just goes to show you what can be developed in the mind of a human being if you put your attention to it. And that's what we have to encourage our children to realize. We've got to stop battling with our children, and our children have got to stop battling with us, and they need to get on course if they're going to be of any influence in the future. You see? So we establish ourselves, and sometimes I wonder what it's going to take for our children to value what their parents have done in the past, even though sometimes I think our children are disappointed with us because we don't show them all of the material things that they're seeing in the media. You know, we don't show them that on some of these network programs that they have that show these Hollywood movie stars and all of these sports figures with all these beautiful things and these big homes. Yeah, we can have those things too. You know, when you think about the kind of resources that African Americans spend in a year as a collective body of people, we're probably more wealthier as a body of people than most ethnic groups are. But at the same time, because ours is so sporadic and dissipates in the atmosphere because we give it to everybody else, we can't see the progress that is possible for us to make because we don't combine our resources. But you look at other Orientals that's come here. You look at the Hispanics and that has come here. I mean, they have taken over cities. They have taken over roads and streets and have their businesses there where they support and make them businesses grow and become viable businesses in the community. And they come and they set up in our community, and we don't have any feeling about that. We give them our resources, they get rich and leave our community with all our wealth, and we're sitting around here poor, crying because we don't have the things that we would like to see in our community life. And we will never have it if we don't unite. We will never have it, and it's not being selfish. We don't say that the Orientals and the Chinese and the Hispanics, we don't say that they're selfish because they enclave their resources. We don't call them selfish, or we don't call them racist or any of those kind of terms. But if we try to do that, which sometimes I think that it's going to take an act of God to make us respond to some of the things that we need to do as a people when we have been in this country all these years and we still suffer 400 and some odd years later. We're still going through ups and sure, there's a few of us that have nice things, and I'm not trying to deny or say that we are all in the same plight. But at the same time, when you look at other ethnic groups, you see that they will help each other until all of them get into a position of resources. And we have got to begin to think that way. We've got to begin to call each other to account. You know, we've got to begin to, as the old cliche of a movie say, pay it forward. We've got to take into account to help each other. They got these programs. I was watching one of them a few days ago on secret millionaires. You know, that's idealistically wonderful to watch these programs, and I'm sure that it's probably happening in some venue in this country. But when you're talking about filtering down to the masses of African Americans, we've got to see that this is bigger than just being idolizing some secret millionaire because of what they show that they did in one program. And I'm not criticizing that because I think it's stimulating to think that there are people out there in this world that will take the responsibility to help the common man who's been struggling, to help the common people in a bigger sense than just taking on one person and helping them. We got a problem that is so massive in this country that until African Americans wake up, we're going to be in a real serious situation in the near future if we don't do something to help each other to rise above this kind of plight that we find ourselves in. So I'm asking you out there to get involved with Takwar. It's on the internet. You can go to Takwar Productions, umastream.com. You can call or be in. Let me see if I can see some of the information that I need to pass on. You can reach Takwar Production at 760 Fayetteville Road in Atlanta, Georgia, 30316. And if you want to make a contribution, if you want to be a part of Takwar Productions in any way, from your cities that you may be in, to see if you can get some support and some help from us and trying to help you to advance maybe some of the media programs that you may be trying to establish in your cities, then let's communicate. Let's see if we can make this a broad network like Takwa Productions is doing now by instituting UmaStream World TV. Now that's big time now. You may not think it is because we may not be visible to the big people in the world, but at the time, as time goes on, if you look back from where we came from 25 or 30 years ago, we've made a big jump. We're making big progress, and that's what the internet has allowed us to do. You can be exposed to us anywhere in the world. All you have to do is go to umastream.com, and you'll be able to see many of the programs that are being instituted by Takwa Productions, and you can be a part of it. You know, we can always benefit from donations that will come in because we're trying to grow. We don't want to be petty people all the time. You know, we're sitting back worrying about a nickel and a dime when the world has billions out there that people are getting. I mean, I was watching one program that was saying that a millionaire is made in this country almost every hour. So why can't we get some of that resources to be able to build our lives up and to live a better life and to be able to help those who are in need? Because that's what this religion encourages us to do. It encourages us to help. And that's what we are trying to do by using the vehicles that's available to us in using this new concept that we are coming into with UmaStream World TV. So I hope that you'll participate, you know. Go to the website, see what it is that you can do. Contact Takwa Productions in any way that you possibly can and let us know that you're willing to help. Let us know that you're willing to get involved, because these programs that are coming out of Takwa Productions and UmaStream World TV are going to be presented in order to educate, in order to benefit our community life. So I hope that you will take the time, you know, and get and investigate. Look over the history of Takwa. If you're concerned about what we've been doing or how we've been doing it, check out our history. We've got an archive of information, and we've been doing television shows and for the last 25 or 30 years. I know if you're ever in Atlanta and you come to the Takwa studios and see how we are developing and some of the mediums that we use and how we are doing it, you know, we need, of course we need upgrading. All of us need to constantly upgrade and get the better equipment to be able to do bigger things than we're doing now. But visit us one time. Come and see what we're doing and be a part of the Takwa Production family. And hopefully if you go online, let us know that you're watching. Let us know that you're a part of what we're trying to accomplish here and what you can do with the influences in your circle of influence, what you can do to help us. And we need your help. But let's not look at it as if it's those people and it's me. No, we are all one people. And what we need to do is have the help from each and every one of us so that we can grow and become a viable part, and that we can leave a legacy to our children and let them know that, yes, maybe we didn't accomplish all of the material things that people admire and our children admire and what they see in the world. But at the same time, we can show them that we have a vehicle that can bring about the best things that this community has ever seen in using the medium of the media to help us to get there. So I want to thank you for the time that you've given me today. But please keep in mind that on April the 2nd, we will be launching UmaStream World TV. And you can be a part of it by going to our website and letting us know what it is that you feel that you can do to help us. So my name is Grant Hassan Salaam, and I'd like to thank you for taking this time to be with me here in the Takwa Studios. And we hope that you'll continue to watch and get involved with us and let us know that you're out there. So once again, Assalamu alaikum. May God's peace be upon you, and have a pleasant day.
I gotta start this track off talking to Allah. I'm asking for forgiveness, merciful is what you are. I'm also asking you increase tawheed in my heart, and that my belief in Islam will never part. Rasulullah